Welcome to Egypt, the land of pharaohs, pyramids, and way too many mummies. From ancient civilizations to modern times, Egypt's history is so epic that Hollywood keeps trying to make movies about it. Some good, some not so much. So, grab your camels and your favorite golden headdress because we're diving into the wild history of Egypt. First things first, Egypt is ancient, like really ancient. We're talking over 5,000 years of history. While most of the world was still figuring out fire, Egypt was busy building massive temples, inventing writing, and basically running a full-blown civilization. The secret to all this success? The Nile River, aka the world's oldest VIP water source. Every year it flooded, making the land super fertile and keeping the Egyptian food supply on point. Now let's talk pharaohs, aka the original influencers. These guys ruled Egypt like gods, built massive tombs for themselves, and left behind some of the most iconic architecture in human history. You've probably heard of King Tut, Ramses II, and Cleopatra, who, fun fact, was actually Greek, Egyptian by adoption. And of course the pyramids, giant triangular don't touch signs built to house pharaohs in the afterlife, because if you were a ruler of Egypt, a regular grave just wouldn't cut it. Ancient Egyptians had one major obsession, the afterlife. They believed you needed your body intact for the next world, so they came up with mummification, which is just a fancy way of saying they wrapped up their dead in linen, took out some organs, and hoped no one broke into their tombs. Spoiler alert, grave robbers totally did. Fast forward a few thousand years, and now we have horror movies about mummies coming back to life. Thanks, Hollywood. As impressive as ancient Egypt was, it also had a big problem. People really liked invading it. Over the years, Egypt was conquered by the Persians, the Greeks, thanks Alexander the Great, the Romans, because of course, the Arabs, and later the Ottomans. Basically, Egypt was the historical version of a house party where everyone keeps showing up and no one ever leaves. Jumping ahead a few centuries, Egypt eventually became part of the Ottoman Empire. Then the British took over in the 1800s because, well, that's what Britain did. But in 1952, Egypt finally got its independence. Since then, it's been a powerhouse in the Middle East, home to over 100 million people, modern cities, and of course a booming tourism industry, because who doesn't want to see the pyramids in person? Before we wrap up, here are some mind-blowing Egypt facts. The Great Pyramid of Giza was the tallest man-made structure for over 3,800 years. Cleopatra lived closer to the invention of the iPhone than to the building of the pyramids. Yeah, let that sink in. Ancient Egyptians loved cats. They even had cat goddesses. Talk about obsessed. The Suez Canal is one of the busiest trade routes in the world, which means Egypt is still shaping global history today. And that's Egypt's history. Pharaohs, pyramids, invasions, and more drama than a reality TV show. If you like this video, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. What's the coolest thing about ancient Egypt? Or what would your pharaoh name be? See you next time. Hopefully not waking up a cursed mummy.